Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. I'm Petter and this is James.
Hello.
And today we're talking about Volume 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And neither one of us have a whole lot to say about Yuji Itadori today, so we're putting him further down in the character discussions today. So let's kick this week off by talking about Junpei Yoshino, a new character introduced here who is able to see curses, or he's very recently started to be able to see curses. And this guy's outlook on life is pretty dull. He's a pretty lonely person, treated pretty poorly by at least some of the people that we got to see here, such as those three guys in his class, or in his school at least, as well as that teacher that seemed to be also kind of nasty. But yeah, actually, on that teacher, since he's like his whole role is so tied to Junpei, I wanted to mention him here. Not only like did he talk, like he talked as if those three guys that died were good to Junpei, which like couldn't be further from the truth. Like, which either points toward his ignorance or toward his, I don't know, him just being a jackass. I don't know. Like that was annoying to me to see that. And also the revelation later that I get something, it implied something that this teacher had injured Junpei at some point in the past, like with that scar on the forehead. Maybe that wasn't exactly what we're supposed to take from it, but that's one way I could at least interpret it.
Yeah.
So that teacher seems to be really nasty, and because of having, I guess, well, on my reread, I got a big kick out of seeing Yuji running away with that teacher's trousers. Especially like on my second read through, since at that point I guess my dislike for that character was even stronger then. So I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I dislike that character for sure. He's kind of a caricature in a way.
True.
And it's just embarrassing how he just assumes those three guys were Junpei's friend. Like, what?
Yeah, come on.
Like, that's just terrible. Well, not just teaching, but just being an adult and not just not understanding how kids interact with each other. Yeah. So I guess, good writing on that.
Yeah, definitely.
With the scar, obviously I can't say anything because spoiler, because I have seen, but I think that you bring an interesting point. At the very least, he understands what that scar means, or like he has some sort of recognition of the scar,
Precisely, yeah, right. So whether or not he inflicted that injury, or if it was something else that he has some kind of tie to, yeah, remains to be seen.
Which that reveal of the scar was quite surprising when I first saw it.
Yeah, I agree.
I never figured. I just thought it was just kind of his down on the world kind of hairstyle. I didn't realize he was trying to cover it up. Which just really makes you feel even worse for the kid and wonder what kind of terrible things are going on.
Definitely. Yeah, man, his life sucks. Like, I mean, he had a super sweet mother, but no more.
Oh my gosh. That was so upsetting to me when I saw that.
I agree.
It's a character that they introduce, a motherly figure that you just, I don't know, you just kind of, it's hard not to like that, like her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they kill her was it within the chapter she was introduced, or the next chapter? I don't remember.
I can't remember either, but yeah, it was very quickly.
It was very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh, man.
Very upsetting.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy's life is pretty bad, and it seems to only be getting worse, and that sucks. And it makes me feel for him. He was really easily swept up by Mahito, I think, but he also seemed to genuinely get along with Yuji, like in a very real way as well.
Right.
So
right.
That's so like he has like these two characters that are, I think, influencing him in obviously very different ways. Mahito being like the bad guy, bad influence, and Yuji being a good influence potentially, or I could see that being more of a thing. So really, depending on which one of those two ends up getting the closest to him, that might determine what his future might look like. Like if Mahito becomes the one that he turns to more, like I could see him turning like full on into a villain. But if he ends up getting closer to Yuji, then I think he could be a reliable ally. It's hard. I think it's really hard to say which one of those paths he's gonna go down.
Yeah. It depends on what kind of story Jujutsu Kaisen is trying to be. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Let's say he turns good in the next volume, like before he goes too far. Like that's something I could
Hmm.
see. I could also see that he ends up becoming a straight up villain, but then later on ends up turning good, kind of getting back on the good side potentially.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because there, I think this is a character who, even if he would turn bad, like his, we've seen that there is good in him too, and I think that's something that could come back at some point later on, maybe, or he will turn villain and just remain a villain. Like I honestly, I'm torn completely on this. I have no idea what to expect from his character, which is fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Right. Yeah. Very deep thinking kid, but I think deep down he is still a good guy, you know?
Yeah, like yeah, there are definitely those kind of signals,
Hmm.
which in a way seem promising. But then there was also the part where Geto saw how Yuji and Gunpei were getting along, and he seemed very happy about that. He like things were going according to plan. I think
Hmm.
according to him,
I mean,
and
that's what they said, yeah?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so I don't know, the fact that things at this point in the story seem to be going well as the villains want them to
Hmm.
does have me a bit worried, and especially since Junpei is kind of in the middle of that, I'm a bit worried. Yeah, no, but he was a very good addition to the series, I think, with this book.
Yeah.
Very well. Then let's move on to the next one, Mahito. We learned that he was created out of people's fear of other people.
That's kind of brilliant. I mean,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love
just
that.
the idea, the concept by what's the author's name again? I can't remember.
Akutami.
Akutami, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a brilliant idea that in a world of curses where a lot of their fears are manifested in that way,
Hmm.
you have natural disasters, but you also have people, the fear of people, and
Yeah.
you know, isn't that just so true in our own world
Uh-huh.
right
Oh,
now?
absolutely. Yeah, it's
Well,
so
just
good.
forever,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beginning of mankind.
absolutely. Yeah, and like similarly, we learned that Jogo, like that volcano head guy, is well, he is created from people's fear of the earth. Um,
Hmm.
and I think yeah, that guy also that saved Jogo at the end of last book, or no, at the end of volume one, yeah, was the curse from people's fear of the woods, I think.
I believe it was volume 2.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It was volume two. Um, yes. And then they showed one that was represented the fear of the ocean. But have we seen that curse before?
Not that I
I don't
know
I
of.
didn't recognize it. But anyway, yeah. Maybe it was with Geto when he was at the restaurant, but I don't remember exactly the signs of all of the curses that were with him then.
Hmm.
Anyway, Mahito has this ability to turn humans into things that look like curses, but and acts like curses, but they are still well, they're obviously not curses. I thought that was very interesting. I mean, because seeing those two not curses things that they fought, like it was. I think anyone would assume that they were curses, like at first glance.
Right.
Like it's
Hmm.
very much that same design, kind of. Yeah, and but for the fact that it's humans, it's kind of creepy, and I kind of like it. Um,
Hmm.
and I was thinking when he killed the three guys at the movie theater, the way he did, I assume that that was an attempt at creating some of those curse-like things too, but he failed because they died. Like he made a mistake. Maybe they died instead of becoming what he intended. Maybe, or maybe I don't know. Or maybe he was just killing them for fun. Or what do you think? Or maybe you know, but
I
but
well, I don't think I know for sure.
hmm,
I just think it's the latter because it it seems like it was a lure for Junpei, and
true. I just wasn't sure if he knew that he could see him before then. But maybe he had noticed something.
yeah, good point. Maybe he didn't know, but then again, like,
It's possible though.
why was he there? Why was he there to begin with? And he was saying, "Oh, you're being rude," and why why was he? Unless he had been following Junpei and knew that he'd be at the movie theater and everything, like it just doesn't. I don't
Hmm.
know. It just doesn't seem like a place that Mahito would be.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. He probably had noticed that Junpei could see him.
And maybe he was just playing coy when he was like, "Oh, you can see me," kind of
Right,
thing.
yeah, probably.
I could be wrong though.
Mm. In that scene when they were with like that, well, the two experiments, like make like the tiny human and the big human.
Hmm.
There was a part in that scene when I can't remember exactly, but Mahito asked Junpei if he if he was upset or something for him doing that with the people, and Junpei said that he didn't really mind, like he didn't really care about other people's lives. However, if he would do this to his mother, then he would hate him. I think he said something like that, or something along those lines at least. And this was before his mother was introduced as a character. She was just mentioned there in that one
Hmm.
line by Junpei. And so he said this to Mahito when like nobody else was around. So I think it's quite clear that Mahito was the one who planted the finger next to Junpei's mom. I think is
Yes,
pretty safe to say. I think it's
I believe they
pretty
established that.
heavily, yeah. Um, and I think he did it in order to turn Junpei against somebody, like to turn the blame onto somebody and to try to push Junpei over the edge, kind of to make him do something villainous, something bad, like something that might be hard to come back from.
Mm,
Maybe to as some kind of attempt to get him more on their side, kind of.
yeah,
Anyway, anything else on Mahito?
that's it.
Okay, then let's move on to Kento Nanami, the new Jujutsu sorcerer that we got to see here, grade 1. I really like this guy.
Yeah,
He's cool. I think I want to see more of him and Gojo together. I think they had a fun kind of dynamic, at least from the little bit that we did see.
I for sure.
He's very like very much about upholding the law and about like finding the truth and I guess being true to the truth. But he doesn't have much faith in society anymore since he used to, but then I think well he somehow realized that society isn't trying to uphold the law as well as it should. So
Hmm.
he's kind of been disillusioned with that, I think. But he's trying to do it by himself at least now, which is cool. It's something I wanted to learn more about, like what made him this way, kind of.
Yeah, I like his ability with the critical hit kind of
Yeah,
thing. It's
that's so cool.
that's one thing about Jujutsu Kaisen. It's really creative in some of its abilities.
Very, yeah, definitely.
Really mixes it up. No one is really the same. I mean, except from
Mm.
using curse abilities, I suppose. But
Well,
it,
but they're all different still.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really creative. Like a lot of these, I agree. In Nanami's character bio, because there wasn't the physical book, there was a little brief character bio on a page between two of the chapters, and it said that sorcerers wear sunglasses to stealthily observe curses, since curses can be aggressive when they know that they're being watched. So that explains that, but it all and obviously that made me think of Gojo. Like I guess that's why he wears the blindfold. But however, it also did specify pretty much right after saying this that Gojo has separate reasons for his blindfold.
Oh,
So
wow. I'm
he's
glad it's specified.
yeah, so he's still different somehow. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. So my best guess as to like to why he wears that blindfold, I guess is still the same as like it's still I'm still thinking that it's somehow to keep his power in check, sort of.
But that implies that that definition hasn't been given, or like that reason hasn't been given yet.
Yeah. We don't know for sure. Anything else on Nanami?
Does not like working overtime,
Yeah,
but
relatable.
he will. He
Yeah,
will.
true. Yeah, I mean, actually, that was something I didn't write down, but something that was kind of interesting. How when he was fighting Mahito, he it seemed like he started fighting harder once he was fighting or once he was working overtime,
Yeah.
which I didn't quite understand why, but I mean, it's fun, I guess.
I mean,
Just wants to get it all over with as soon as possible, kind of.
right? You want to go home,
Yeah.
right? You know, like, you got to goof off during the work hours. Oh no, no, it's after hours. You got to get this done. Oh, okay, I guess I'll get
Okay.
serious.
Actually, that's
I
that
don't
is.
know.
It's true though. It's.
I'm just making stuff up.
I could see that literally being it. Ah.
Honestly, part of that has to do with what I read in Wotakoi. Highly recommend.
Oh
But kind of has
yes.
a similar, like, working after hours.
Oh,
But
fun.
anyway,
I gotta read that.
yeah.
Well, should we move on to Satoru Gojo?
Let's do so.
I really liked it when he confronted the Kyoto Jujutsu High School principal and just really
Absolutely.
gave him a piece of his mind, and he was kind of messing with him.
Yeah. Why does it feel like Gojo's like the only one who's doing anything around you? I guess because
Yeah,
if you're the strongest and best, sorcerer around, you can do whatever you want, or you can actually get things done.
true. Yeah, I mean that probably has something to do with that.
But it just seems like everyone. I mean, we don't even see all the sorcerers out there. We
Yeah,
our
true.
knowledge of you know these individuals are very limited.
Yeah.
But it does. All we see is Gojo actually trying to make things better, or you know
Mm.
prepare for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome. Like as we've said, like as a teacher, yeah, he's not the best. But his intentions are so good. Like
Right.
he's such
Yeah.
a good character. And he's doing his best. um he said in that conversation with the Kyoto principal, he said that the new generation won't be limited to special grade. And I guess by that he means that they can surpass the special grade level and become something even more powerful. Is that what he implied by that?
Ultra special grade.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Whatever it'll be called, something like that. And if that's the case, he then that means that he thinks that this next generation will become even stronger than he is, because he is a special grade. And
He's like, well, I mean, maybe.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting because he's like god level supposedly.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but yeah, no, it does seem to imply that he thinks very highly of the next generation,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just something like it's not just going to be me. There's going to be others who are at the same level as me. No
Maybe.
one can ever be higher than me. But
Like, I guess since he is the only one who is as strong as he is, then there's no need for another term for a higher level. So maybe he would classify as higher if there was a name, but since he's the only one, there's no need for one. But once this next generation comes up and becomes strong and stronger, then there would be a new term, and then he would acquire that term as well.
maybe I
Mm.
think that's a fair assessment of it all. But I think it's also not just the next generation of sorcerers, but also some of these curses are clearly much. The difference in power is staggering. I mean, just let's go back to Volume 1 and Volume 2, where you had Sukuna and that whatever that curse was. That was supposed to be a special one, a special
Yeah,
rank,
that's right.
but their differences was staggering.
True. Yeah, you're right.
The same goes for Jogo and Mahito. Like they can't be classified in the same kind of way.
Mm.
So I mean, we're just
Yeah.
talking about like schematics at this point. They gotta fix their naming chart. But
yeah, they do.
regardless, there is a future upheaval in sight. There's
Mm.
power. The rising generation and curses are getting stronger and stronger.
Precisely. Yeah, not scary. Or well, it's also good. But it's
It's
also scary.
exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Anything else on Gojo?
No, but to have something about Kasumi Miwa.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about let's talk about her.
Student at Kyoto, second year, big Gojo fan. I love the interaction where
Yeah.
you hear her thoughts and she's just like fangirling. Like it's so great.
Yes, I loved it.
That's all I got on her, just because that's all she had. But it was pretty great.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it was great. I also really loved seeing her, and like, even though it was so little, I still thought like she was so fun. Um,
Yeah.
and I really look forward to seeing more of her. I hope to see more of her in the future. And it was also funny. I don't know if this is in the digital releases, but in the physical book, like there was like I guess it counts as like an in between page. After that chapter that she was in, we actually got like a page that showed that she did get that selfie with Gojo.
Oh
And she was
yeah.
very excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
but
man.
she forgot to get the tea for the principal when she got back. She had just gone to take that picture. She came back and there was no tea.
You know,
uh,
I think they showed something like that in the anime. I think.
cool, nice. But yeah, no, she was very charming and very fun, and yeah, again, really want to see more. But let's move on to well, a little bit on Suguru Geto. He wasn't a whole lot in this book, and really the only thing I want to say is kind of a little bit about a speculation that I said about him. I think in the previous book, I think I said that the stitches in his forehead, that there was like a connection between that and the stitch like design on Mahito. Like he has also kind of stitch like designs in his face. Um, After having read this book, I'm not so sure anymore that that's the case, since well we learn here that Mahito is a curse, and well obviously Geto, or supposedly Geto, is a human, and so I don't know if they would both be stitched up or whatever, like similarly, if one is a human and one is a curse. So yeah, I don't think there's a connection there, or like a similarity in that any longer. However, I still think it's possible that Mahito might be the one to, like, the one who's responsible for keeping Geto alive after he supposedly
Hmm.
nearly died at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. I still think that's possible, but
I can see that.
but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, did you have anything on Geto from this volume?
No, I don't.
All right, then. Well, let's talk about Yuji Itadori next, then, a little bit. And the only thing I got is really that how his cursed energy has a lag, and I thought that was such like another one of these creative, cool ideas that allows for basically each of his punches to become two punches. Um, so yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, very interesting. It took me a while to really understand like what that means, or like what exactly is happening. But it is a unique kind of two punch in one
Yeah,
thing.
it's really cool.
And I just loved how he bonded with Junpei over movies. You know, who would have
Yeah,
thought that all his movie training would have helped him out at this moment?
right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, and I also love how quickly and easily he got along with Junpei's mother. Was also
yeah.
so sweet. But then I guess we move on to Megumi Fujiguro. And all I got is that well, we learn as for his response to Todo, he values compassion over looks, which is that's really very respectable. What a good guy.
The
Um,
women really like that answer.
yeah, yes, that's the right response. But Todo thought it was a lame response.
That he did.
But anyway, anything else on Megumi?
Not forgiving someone is a way of showing kindness, which was something that he thought of when he was thinking of his answer for his preferences. And
Right.
it's interesting, like not forgiving someone's way of showing kindness, or at least that's how this I forget her name, like the person that he he thought of,
Yeah.
saying that that's how Megumi shows kindness. What do you think? Is it possible to show kindness by not forgiving someone?
Yeah, I don't know. One thought that did cross my mind as maybe somewhat of an explanation would be that if say a friend of yours is wronged by another person,
Hmm.
then maybe you're kind to your friend by not forgiving that person who wronged your friend.
Ah.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe that could be it. I didn't think about it that way.
Uh
I
huh.
was only thinking about, not forgiving that person is showing kindness to that person. I was like, what?
Ah.
Another way I thought of potential, I think I really like that your interpretation that you gave. It's almost like kind of protecting someone.
Right.
I like that. The other way I thought about it was maybe the person that wronged you is something that someone you care about. Because you care about them, you have high expectations for them.
Ah.
And so by not forgiving them, you're showing that you care about this person and their opinions,
Oh.
and or how they treat you or whatever. And by not forgiving them, you show that um, you had so much respect for them, and then they lost that. I don't know. I get it's kind of a roundabout way of like showing respect and kindness in a way.
Ah.
But at the time, that was the only way I could think about it. But I think yours makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I liked yours too. Yours is a bit sadder, like I guess in terms of
Yeah,
like whatever the situation is about. But yeah, I look forward to learning more about his past with that girl.
yeah. Hmm.
Well, let's move on a little bit to Nobara Kugisaki, and really the only thing I got little pointer is that she is starting to really look up to Maki now, which is really nice. And I look forward to seeing more of their friendship, I guess.
Yeah, slinging them insults like this. She had
Yeah.
some pretty good insults towards Mai. I like it.
Yeah, that was very good. You know, it was. I think they were so good, and I think Akutami felt so bad about them that he made like a bonus page between like after that chapter. He made like a bonus page in the physical book explaining like how like smack talk and like those sorts of things like you shouldn't do it. But I'm writing my characters this way because it's part of like the fighting sort of. But you shouldn't do this at home, kind of.
That's funny.
It was really funny. He's very funny in a lot of these little bonus pages.
Uh,
Um anyway, next one, Maki Zenin. So yeah, she explained that she doesn't really have any cursed energy herself, and she needs these special glasses in order to see curses, like to begin with. And um, when I read that in this volume, it sounded familiar, and I'm quite sure that was established also in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. I could be wrong, but it sounded so familiar to me that I it must have been in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero as well, I think.
I can't remember, but it sounds like something that she would say to Utah
Right.
because she totally has the hots for the guy. What?
Definitely. No, definitely. Yeah. But it's interesting though.
Yeah. Another one of those interesting aspects where a character that is kind of going beyond the norms.
Hmm.
And I like how it's just kind of out of spite, of her family, just to make them mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. And her sister is able to use cursed energy, but can't use them in any techniques, right? That was what it was.
Yeah, she imbues curse energy into objects.
That's right, but you can't do it, yeah, any further. So they're both, I guess, similar, but her sister is a little further, I guess, on that. But yeah, moving on to Toge Inumaki a little bit, and the only thing here for me at least is that we got to see his cursed speech ability in action for the first time in the main series when he stopped Toto from moving.
Mm.
Panda had a really funny line when when
Oh yeah.
he was like, "Me panda, no human speech." It's so funny. He just wanted to avoid having to respond to Toto's demand, I guess, to bring Yuta along.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Toto's a hard personality to deal with. Like,
Yeah,
he's a hard one.
he
So
is.
Panda's hilarious.
Yeah, because like last time I thought Toto was not great, but like kind of funny, kind of all right, I guess. But having seen him at the start of this volume, I see that he is not that great. He's really powerful, and like
Hmm.
as a sorcerer, as a fighter. But yeah, he's not a great person, really. I mean, he's not evil, but he's not great.
Yeah, yeah. I respect his love for idols. Like, you know,
True. Yeah, that's true. That was pretty cute.
you know, it's funny because he's what, probably like 17, maybe.
Yeah, probably around that. Yeah.
Yeah. But just look at him; he does not look like a 17-year-old.
No, you're right. It's like Bill Watkins in Spy Family. No, not quite. Anyways.
Daddy, Daddy.
For anyone who hasn't seen or read Spy Family, read or watch it now. It's great. Both the anime and the manga is amazing. We also cover it on Umami Manga if you want to listen to those episodes. But yeah, no. But then shall we move on to the finishing end of the episode?
Let's go for it.
Cool. So, well, the predictions I got 1 month passed in this volume, or roughly a month, because there was like a month time skip at one point there. And I think the Kyoto Sister School Goodwill event was about a month and a half away at the end of the previous volume, I think. So then that means we are about half a month away from it now. Which means I think it's a pretty decent chance that it'll happen in the next volume.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or at least maybe it will start in the next volume.
Yeah.
Like
it's just where it ended off, you know, the confrontation between Yuji and Junpei.
True.
I guess it just depends how long that takes.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be a quick thing?
Or like the entire volume. Yeah, you're right. That's hard to say.
Although, to be fair, this manga has kind of been... I mean, I'm not going to say it's like super fast paced, but they do go between the, you know, arcs or points within the story fairly quickly.
I think so, yeah.
Like, they don't last very long in one place.
Right. Yeah. So that in mind, I'm probably going to say that it will probably at least begin. Like, the event will probably at least begin in the next volume. It's going to be my prediction on that. But I think I may have said last time that I thought Yuji would reunite with his classmates in this volume. Obviously that didn't happen, but so my new prediction will be that they'll reunite in volume 4.
Perfect.
I just want them to get together again. I want his friends to know that he's alive.
Yeah, they don't know he's alive.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's a bit rough. And yeah, and regarding Junpei's fate, again, I'm pretty torn on kind of which route he's gonna go, like villain or ally. If I'm gonna have to say one though, I would say that he will continue to become a villain.
Okay.
I don't know if that's part of me, like that's like kind of the part that I would think would be more exciting or interesting. Because I have a hard time saying which one I think will legitimately happen, but at least that's the one that I think is more, or at least at this point seems more interesting to me. So I'm gonna say that as my prediction for him.
Okay.
Just if I have to say one of the two.
Yeah. No, I think those are good, like, predictions, both those two, and I do think that it would be more interesting if it was kind of I'm gonna stick with the bad guys kind of a thing.
Yeah, and then like I could maybe see it becoming kind of like a Professor X and Magneto kind of relationship, maybe between him and Yuji.
Oh,
like they are enemies,
cool.
but they still have this bond that somehow you know, that could be interesting. I think I just thought of it now, but I think that could be kind of neat. Especially since I think Akutami is inspired. Like I think he is probably a Marvel Comics fan. We talked about the similarities between Yuji and Peter Parker Spider-Man in the first volume, especially with like his grandfather kind of being like an Uncle Ben kind of figure, and with Jujutsu High School being like, I think kind of like the school in X-Men, like it's a school for special people where you know both the teachers and the students fight evil together. I could draw like X-Men parallels there.
I don't remember talking about this. This is the first I've heard of it, but I do see what you're saying. Like, yeah.
No, we didn't talk about X-Men last time, but we talked about just the Spider-Man thing.
Oh, okay.
The
All
X-Men,
right.
no, yeah, the X-Men thing is a thing I just thought of when I read this
Gotcha.
book.
Yes.
But
I can totally see
the
that.
schools being like a thing, like X-Men inspired thing, and then and yeah, now this idea that I just had about maybe Yuji's and Junpei's relationship becoming somewhat similar, maybe to Magneto and Professor X. I guess we'll see. But yeah, it's just fun to see, I guess, a little bit of potential inspiration from Marvel's comic books.
On the flip side, like what is exactly the outcome if he like goes with Yuji instead, or like he sides with Yuji? Does he join this? Does he join the school? Does he?
Most likely, right? I think because he does have cursed energy to some extent.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be. I just think we already have so many interesting kind of good guys that I sort of think we don't really need more right now.
There's too many. Like, no.
Like give the bad guys some more guys.
No, that's a fair point. Well, what if he becomes a spy? Like, what if it's kind of he goes with Yuji, but he still kind of harbors some ill intent?
Okay, that would be interesting too. That would be very interesting as well. I think there's so much potential with Junpei's character. I'm just really excited to see where he ends up because it really could go in any direction, and there's so many directions.
Yeah.
But I guess that's it on the predictions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any questions. I think my main question was about Junpei.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Sweet. And yeah, let's just, since we got some time, I think this is a relatively short episode. Since we got some time, we got a Discord server open to all of our listeners to join. Link in the video description on YouTube if you're listening there. I think we also nowadays have started to put that link on the podcast platforms as well, but I don't think it's a link. Like you may have to like copy paste that link into the it's different anyway. there is a link to our Discord server anyway that anyone can join, and we have a lot of fun in there. It's been growing a little bit, and we talk about all of the stuff that we talked about in the podcast on there, as well as a bunch of other manga and anime things.
Can I just say that I love the community that we have right now. I mean, it's just really fun to talk to everyone there, and there's all sorts of different opinions, but we all kind of see eye to eye in a way, and it's really fun. I recently just shared my anime list account and was friending all sorts of people from the Discord server, and it was just a really good time.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to be friends with us in a way, get to know us intimately and our anime likes, gotta join the Discord server, and we'll send you an invite, or we'll be in touch. No.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it is great. It's such a fun and nice little community that we got, and yeah, always happy to see more good people join. But with all that said, if you enjoy our content, you can follow us on Twitter at Umami Manga, and it would be lovely if you'd like to support us by either rating our show on the podcast platforms or subscribing to our channel Umami Manga on YouTube. If you like this episode, please share it with anyone you think might enjoy it too. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about Volume 4. Bye bye!
See you later!